Husqvarna Motorcycles is diving back into the on-road segment in 2016 with two new large displacement single-cylinder models, the 701 Supermoto and the 701 Enduro. While these two models are new to the Husqvarna lineup, they are not altogether new machines. The 701 Supermoto and the 701 Enduro share platforms not only with each other, but also with the KTM 690 SMC and the KTM 690 Enduro. Both the Husky Supermoto and Enduro use the same single-cylinder overhead cam engine. Ignition is via a double spark plug layout, each of which has individual ignition timing for optimal combustion of fuel. Engine management is handled by a 46mm key and throttle body with ride-by-wire technology, a first for any Husqvarna motorcycle. Getting power to the rear wheel happens through a slipper clutch on both models, operated by a Maguro hydraulic clutch system. Husky claims max power at the crank is 67 horsepower at 7,500 RPM and 49 foot-pounds of torque at 6,500 RPM. Both the 701 Supermoto and Enduro use WP suspension, but in slightly different configurations. The Supermoto uses an open bath separate function fork with 8.4 inches of travel, while out back the WP shock offers 8.8 inches of travel. The 701 Enduro uses the WP 4CS fork with 10.8 inches of travel, while the WP shock features 10.8 inches of travel. The Bosch ABS braking system is mated to Brembo brakes. The Enduro uses a twin piston caliper on a 300mm wave disc in front and a 240mm wave disc in the back. The Supermoto uses a 4-piston Brembo caliper and a 320mm floating disc up front with the same rear brake setup as the Enduro out back. Supermoto and off-road braking modes are available through an optional dongle, allowing the front brake to retain ABS while letting the rear brake lock up when needed. The dongle also has a setting for turning off the ABS completely. The 701 Supermoto rolls on 17-inch wire wheels and comes with tubeless Continental Conti Attack Supermoto tires. The 701 Enduro uses a very dirt-worthy 21-inch front wheel and an 18-inch rear wheel, wrapped in Continental TXC80 tires. After a full day of carving up and over mountains and buzzing across valleys, we fully understand what the 701 Supermoto is all about. Fun, plain and simple. It craves tight curvy roads and begs to be ridden aggressively. It isn't a highway cruiser, although it can do it. There are a plethora of motorcycles built to go down the road in a straight line, much more comfortably. The 701 Supermoto is a bike that likes to avoid the straight and boring. The more curves, the better. Within a few miles of carving corners and having fun, we started to embrace the abundance of traction, the strong brakes, and the dirt bike-like upright sitting position. Under regular corner carving, the Conti Attack tires were never in danger of breaking traction and work well. Thanks to the slipper clutch, the 701 Supermoto never exhibited any rear wheel chatter, allowing a consistent slide of the rear wheel when entering corners. The 701 power is incredibly linear with plenty on tap. Accelerating through the corner is easy and smooth without any surprising power burst that would cause the rear wheel to break loose without warning. Both the Supermoto and Enduro bikes we rode were outfitted with the optional dongle for the braking system. We left it in the mode where the ABS was on the front wheel and the ABS turned off on the rear so we could skid the bike when needed. There's a little bit of vibration from the 701 Supermoto, but it's not an unpleasant level. Cruising down the highway, it is smooth. The rubber-mounted handlebars offer up a lot of cushion while reducing vibration to the hands. Wheels, tires, gearing, and suspension are the main differences between the 701 Enduro and the 701 Supermoto. The second day of our time with the Husky 701 was aboard the Enduro model, sliding and roosting in the dirt, getting the full off-road experience of what the Enduro can handle. For a 320-pound dirt bike, the 701 Enduro works quite well. The well-proven tread with the TKC80 tires offers up plenty of traction, only suffering in the deep sand. With the optional dongle installed, we left the ABS turned on for the front wheel and off for the back wheel, allowing us to skid and change direction easily in the dirt. With a bike of this size, using the rear wheel to help initiate turns is key. Just like on the street, the smooth power delivery helps the 701 Enduro stay in line and under control. But respect that power and keep control of that right hand. It has a lot waiting if you get heavy-handed and aren't ready. The WP 4CS fork does a good job of soaking up bumps, rocks, and big hits. Smashing down rocky roads and through rain ruts is surprisingly stable on the 701 Enduro, and the added weight of a bike this size reduces deflection. With a gas tank at the rear of the bike, the overall feel is fairly thin when standing, and makes it easy to slide forward when seated. On asphalt sections, transferring between dirt fun, the 701 Enduro felt smooth and stable. It easily hums down the road at 75 miles per hour. The Supermoto has a slightly faster top speed, but both bikes easily pulled up to the 100-mile-an-hour mark. The 701 Enduro has big potential as an adventure bike. Add a small windscreen, more fuel, and find some technical trail. The 701 will allow riders to conquer much more gnarly terrain than a full-size KTM or BMW adventure bike. It won't be nearly as comfortable on the asphalt, but for those looking for some serious off-road performance out of a bigger bike, this is it. After 2 exciting days aboard the new 701 Husky Supermoto and Enduro, we predict a lot of happy owners in the near future. The fun factor of the Supermoto is off the charts, and the Enduro has huge potential to sneak into the adventure market, especially for riders who desire a machine that can take them where big bikes can't even dream of going.